Hello and welcome. This is Adusman. In today's video, we're going to discuss how to apply conditional formatting to a Power BI visual. Conditional formatting is very important and very useful to highlight parts of our data which needs to be looked into and which needs to be highlighted and focused. So we are going to see how to apply conditional formatting and what are the tools available to do that. Let's head over to the example. In this example, we have some information regarding sales by product, brands, and average sales of these brands. We have also have a clustered column chart here, and it shows average sales by brand as well. So we need to apply conditional formatting to this table visual first, and then we are going to apply the same on this chart. So let's see how do we do that on the total sales column. I want to highlight the sales column based on the values. So on this fields pane, I will click on this arrow on the total sales and I will click on conditional formatting. We have a bunch of different options available here: background color, font color, data bars, icons, as well as web URLs. We will discuss them one by one. So let's hit this background color. And in this window, we see different options available to us. Format style has got three options: gradient, rules, and field value. And the formatting can be applied to the values only, values and totals, and the totals only option are available. If we have a zero in the data, we can show the zero as with no format, and we can show them as a specific color and as zero as well. One important thing is that I can highlight the sales column based on any field that is there in the data model. I can highlight this field based on its own value, and I can also select this field based on any measure that is available in my measures table, which I have created already. In the gradient, I have to specify a minimum value and a maximum value. I can let Power BI to decide the minimum value from the data itself, or I can also specify a custom value in this box here. Besides these minimum and the maximum color options, I can also specify a middle color of my own choosing. Let's apply this conditional formatting on the sales values first, and let's just change this a little bit and click OK. I'm going to apply formatting only on values. So let's see how it's done. And you can see that the highest value are shown in the dark color and the lowest value are shown in the light color. If we sort this, dark colors are grouped upwards and light colors are shown downwards. I can also specify a divergent color in between. For example, I can add a different color, let's say purple, and click OK. And you can see that the purple color is coming somewhere in the middle. So this is how you can apply a simple conditional formatting on the background colors on a table visual. Now I'm going to apply the conditional formatting on the average sales column based on a value which is not there in this visual. Number of records. These are the total number of transactions for each of these different brands of products. Let's click on this average sales column and apply conditional formatting on background color. And this time I'm going to select the field on which I should base my conditional formatting is the number of records. And I will keep this color coding as it is. So click OK. And now you can see that the higher the number of records, the darker the color. And now we do not need to have this number of records in the visual, so we can even remove them. And now we can see that the formatting will remain the same as it is because HP is a high selling product brand by number of transactions, so it's in the darker color. So this is how you can apply conditional formatting based on different field values. Let's move on. In order to remove conditional formatting from a particular field, we will click on arrow and click on remove conditional formatting and let's say all. So my conditional formatting is removed. Let's apply another trick here, background color. And instead of gradient, now I'm going to look at rules. We can specify with various types of rules in which we can specify which colors or which numbers do we want to highlight. Let's say if I want to say that any value which is greater than the minimum value, if I don't specify anything, the system will automatically take the minimum value, whatever it is. And if it is less than, let's say, 100 million, then give me a light blue color. Otherwise, If the number is greater than 100 million but less than 500 million, give me a different color. And finally, if the number is greater than or equal to 500 million but less than the maximum number. If I don't specify anything, the system will take the maximum number by itself and click OK. So you can see that if I the higher the values, the purple color is selected and then a golden color and the blue color. So this is how you can specify rules based on values. We can also specify percentages instead of numbers here, but I will take a different example to explain this. So let's move on to the next page first. And here we have a simple table in which we have got values from 100 to 20 and product from A to E. In this case, if I were to select and highlight the field value column of this visual, the minimum value of 20 will be taken as 0%, and the maximum value of 100 will be taken as 100%. And if you were to apply conditional formatting based on values, let's say background color, and instead of numbers, I'm going to specify percentage. I will take this if it is greater than 0%, but less than or equal to, let's say, 50%. Specify this color. If it is greater than 50%, but less than or equal to 75%, give me a different color. And finally, if it is greater than 75%, but less than or equal to 100%. So we have got percentages everywhere and we specify a different color here. Okay. If I click OK, you can see that this is 0%, 20 to 40 is 25%, 40 to 60 is 50%, 60 to 80 is 75%, and 80 to 100 is 100%. So from 20 to 60, it's 50% because the change is 40 and the total change from 20 to 100 is 80. The change of 80 is 100%. From the change of 40 from 20 to 60 is 50%. So 50% is all shown in the blue color, and from 60 to 20, 80 shown in the golden color, and finally the 100% is shown in the pink color. So this is how you can apply conditional formatting based on rules based on percentages. So heading back to our previous example, we can apply conditional formatting based on other criteria as well. We will remove the conditional formatting from this field. And let's say if we were to apply conditional formatting based on, instead of gradient, we are going to select field value. And in the field value, we can specify which field do we want to calculate the conditional formatting on. So in that case, I have already created a measure. I'm going to compare the average sales of individual brand versus the average sales of all the brands together. If the average sale of individual brand is lower than the average sales of the entire portfolio, then we will format it with different color. And if it is higher than the average of all of the portfolio, we will specify another color. So for that purpose, I will use a measure which I've already created. Let's discuss this. So I'm using a switch function here, and the condition is true. I'm comparing the average sales of my individual brand with the average sales of all the brands. And if the answer is true, it means the individual average sale of each brand is greater than the average sale of all the brands. Then I'm specifying a specific color in inverted commas. And if this condition is not true, then an alternative color. So if we just put this value on the visual, let's see what do we get. The average sales color code shows us what kind of color do we want to highlight this value with. So this value from Microsoft, ASUS, HP, Apple till let's say Philips, these average sales of these products is higher than the average sales of the entire portfolio. So these will be highlighted in the light gray color, and whereas all the other products are going to be highlighted in the turquoise color. So let's apply this. Total sales, conditional formatting, background color, and instead of gradient, I'm going to select field value. And we already have a field value in the measure which says average sales color code. You can see the light gray, turquoise, light gray, and we can filter this based on, let's say, average sales. and we don't need this field in this visual, so we can remove this. And now the conditional formatting is very crisp in terms of the average sales. We can also apply the same conditional formatting on this clustered column chart. And in this case, I am going to click on Format a Visual. I will click on Columns. And instead of selecting this particular color, I am going to click on this FX button. And the same window appears, and then field value, and click OK. And now you see the same values, same formatting as we see in this visual is also there, the cluster column chart. One important thing to note is that we can, instead of specifying the color name, we can also specify the hex code of the color or even the RGB value of the color. For example, in case of light gray, we can specify a value of hex code, which is this. This is exactly the same color as a light gray. And instead of turquoise, we can specify this color. For example, if I put instead of turquoise, I put this color code here and click enter. You won't see any difference in the visual because the color is exactly the same. The RGB value is specified in terms of RGB, bracket open, and in this case, you can specify these values here. Let me copy this, and then same, you can see the value of the RGB value is exactly same as the hex code, which is exactly same as the turquoise color. So these are three ways of putting in the color codes in the visual, the name of the color, the RGB value, or the hex code. Now let's apply conditional formatting on the fonts. Click on average sales, conditional formatting, font color, and specify a value. Click OK. And now you can see the font colors have been updated. The colors have been changed. Now let's apply conditional formatting through data bars. It's very simple, just like in Excel. We can specify a lowest value, a highest value, and we can give values of positive and negative bars if there are any. We only have positive bars here. Let me specify color, and the bar direction is left to right. If I just click OK, you will see the higher the value, the bar is bigger, and the lower the value and lower the value, the bar is smaller. But we can also modify this a little bit. If we don't want to highlight, let's say, the values here, we can only show the bars. So if I click show the bar only, and you can see the values are gone and the only bars are appearing. Now let's apply conditional formatting using icons. Average sales, conditional formatting, icons. I will leave all the setting as it is, and I'm not going to change the percentages here. I'm just going to change the icon sets that we can show here. So let's put in set of four here, arrows, and the system updates itself percentage-wise. Every 25% the icon changes, and if you click OK, and you can see the values are accordingly formatted. Instead of using default icons from Power BI, I can also import icons from the web. In that case, we need to specify the URL of the image, and then we can import the URL in the Power BI visual directly. I've already created a measure in which I've used the switch function, and if this average sales of the individual brand is greater than the average sales of all the brands, then I'm going to import this icon from this website, and this item will show a check mark against the product brand. And if the average sale is lower than the average sale of all the brands, then it will be shown a cross mark. Let's see how we can do that. Let's click on average sales, conditional formatting. I click on icons, and instead of rules, I will select on field value. And in field value, I will specify the average sales color code 2 and click OK here. And now you can see the different icons which I have already imported are now applied on this visual. There's one additional feature in conditional formatting is that we can specify or we can link the individual values of the brands with their websites. When the user will click on Microsoft, the Microsoft would open. For that purpose, we can choose the option of web URL, like over here, and we can specify the web URL as first of all, as a field value. So in that case, we need to create first a measure. I have put in the websites of 10 companies in this measure, and now we are going to link this with this visual by conditional formatting. So let's click on brand, click on conditional formatting web URL, field value is already selected. Let's select the measure company sites and click OK. And you will see that there is a hyperlink available now on the names of the brands. If I press Control and click on Microsoft, my Microsoft website is open now, and thereby you can link your Power BI report with the individual websites of different brands. So this is how you can do a conditional formatting in many different ways, and you can create stunning visuals and highlight the data that you want to highlight, and even connect to the websites of the companies, import icons from the different websites, and you can show whatever you want to show in the visual to your audience. I hope you would have enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.